Hi, my name is Tim Johnson. I'm the owner of Tuscaloosa Ophthalmology as well as Southern Eye Consultants, two ophthalmology practices in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm a client of Clay Clark. He asked me to answer a couple questions. The first question was, how did I hear about Clay Clark? I am a big fan of business podcasts, and his podcast popped up as a recommended listening, so I started listening to the podcast. I was a little suspicious or skeptical because I thought there was going to be like an upcharge or an upsell, but the idea of the month-to-month canceling really appealed to me, and I kept waiting for the shoe to drop and for the upsell or for the scam to come in, but it never did. It's very legitimate. Since working with Clay, I've gotten a much firmer grasp on how business works. Even in medicine, business is business. I've learned a lot about marketing, especially how Google reviews work and how important that is. And that's very important even in medicine. At least once a week, if not every day, I get a new patient because somebody Googled eye doctor in Tuscaloosa or ophthalmologist in Tuscaloosa. And you'd be amazed how many patients just look for an eye doctor that way. And so he's really changed our business. Our business has grown a lot, maybe 15 to 20% this year. And so we're really grateful for the things he's done for our business. And the last question was, when did I perfect the laugh? I would say that you can never perfect the laugh. You just keep working at it, and just keeps getting better and better each day. But you got to keep working at it.
Hi, I'm Ryan Wimpy.
And I'm Rachel Wimpy, and the name of our business is Tip Top Canine.
Our business is a dog training business. We help people with behavioral issues and teach their dog how to listen. When I was learning to become a dog trainer, we didn't learn anything about internet marketing or advertising or anything at all. Just dog training. And that's what's so great about working with Clay and his team, because they do it all for us.
So that we can focus on our passion, and that's training dogs. Clay and his team here, they're so enthusiastic. Their energy is off the charts. Never a dull moment here at Thrive.
We've been working with Clay and his team for the last 5 months, 2 of which have been our biggest months ever. 1, our biggest gross by 35%. Clay's helped us make anything from brochures to stickers, new business cards, new logos, scripts for phones, script for email, script for text message, scripting for everything.
How I would describe the weekly meetings with Clay and his team are awesome. They're so effective. It's worth every minute. Things get done. We'll ask for things like different flyers, and they're done before our hour is up. So it's just awesome, extremely effective.
If you don't use Clay and his team, you're probably going to be pulling your hair out, or you're going to spend half of your time trying to figure out the online marketing game and producing your own flyers and marketing materials, print materials, all the stuff like that. You're really losing a lot as far as lost productivity and lost time. Not having a professional do it, it has a real sense of urgency and that actually knows what they're doing when you already have something that's your core focus that you already know how to do.
You would also be missing out with all the time and financial freedom that you would have working with Clay and his team.
We would recommend Clay and his team to other business owners because they need to be working on their business, not just trying to figure out the online game, which is complex and changing daily. So no one has a marketing team too. Most people don't. They can't afford one, and their local web guy or a local person that they know probably can't do everything that a whole team and a whole floor of people can do in hours and not just weeks or months. There's a definite sense of urgency with Clay and his team. I used to have to ride other web people, really ride them to get stuff done, and stuff is done so fast here, and there's a real sense of urgency to get it done. It's great.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colin Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom.
Steve Jobs Jobs was the co-founder of Apple and the legendary former CEO of Pixar, who led the company to massive commercial success and critical acclaim. And if you want to follow along and read this excerpt of my newest book, A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich, just go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, again, to download a free copy of my newest book, A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich. And we're reading from page 219, where Steve Jobs is quoted as saying, "I've built a lot of success off lifting these truly gifted people and not settling for B and C players, but really going for the A players. I found that when you get enough A players together, when you go through the incredible work to find 5 of these A players, they really like working with each other because they've never had a chance to do that before. And they don't want to work with B and C players. And so it becomes a self-policing sort of thing. And they only want to hire more A players. And so you build up these pockets of A players and it propagates." Well, how does that relate to you and your business? Well, when you look at my wonderful clients that I've helped to grow over the years, when you look at mlkdentistry.com, or you look at oxyfresh.com, oxifresh.com, you look at tiptopcanine.com, you look at these various brands that I've helped to build and to scale, oftentimes to dramatic sizes. What happens is there's 3 major changes that need to be made in every business. The first is we have to develop A-player systems. We have to develop A-player systems. The second is we have to recruit A-player people. And the third we have to do is we have to become an A-player boss. And oftentimes what I find is that certain people are not A-player bosses, and so even when they find A players, they have a hard time motivating those A players because they are not an A-player boss. Or I find that oftentimes a business owner will have A-player employees, A-player teammates, but they don't have A-player systems. And so what you want to do is you want to find A players, you want to build A-player systems, and you want to be an A-player boss. And oftentimes what gets in the way of that is greed. What? Yeah, greed. You know, the Bible actually states that for the love of money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, it doesn't say that money itself is evil. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. I encourage everyone to look it up and read it yourself. It says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." And so what I find oftentimes is A-player employees, you know, they aren't satisfied with their compensation. And so they find ways to lie, cheat, and steal in order to make an extra percentage here or there. I often find that the A-player bosses, they find that their compensation isn't good enough, and so they oftentimes try to push partners out or to skim commissions or to do various things so that they can get ahead and get rich quick because they don't want to honor the commitments that they once thought were valuable. And again, we go back to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." I often find that bosses don't want to develop an A-player workflow because delivering an A-quality service for their customers would require them to spend a little bit more money. And so my question I would have for you today is, do you have A-player people working on your team? Do you have A-players on your team? Do you have them? Do your people show up on time? Do they get their work done on time? If not, perhaps it's time to find some better people. Now, how do you do that? Well, in part 2 of today's show, I'm going to walk you through the process of how to find great employees. But just ask yourself the question, do you have A players, B players, or C players working for you? Again, A players, they show up early. They always get their work done on time, and they have a great attitude. They bring the 4 E's and a P. They bring great energy. They have the ability to energize others. They have the edge to make the tough call. They execute. They get their job done. And they have a passion. That's 4 E's and a P. Energy. They have great energy. They energize others. They execute. They get their job done. They have the edge to make the tough call. And they have a passion for life. That's what an A player looks like. A B player always shows up late. Always doesn't quite get the job done on time. And, they might have an attitude problem to go with it. And now in terms of this is so tough to think about. C players are always late. Nothing is ever done on time. And nothing is ever done right, and they have a bad attitude. That's what a C player is. And so that's what you got to be thinking about. Now again, you got to be asking yourself, are you an A player boss? Are you a B player boss, or are you a C player boss? And then in terms of the systems, do you have A player systems or not? You know, today I spent an entire day today working on behalf of a client in the medical space, helping them to develop an A player workflow, an A+ quality workflow. And so in this particular business, for this first particular medical business, it's a fascinating business about how it's so fun once you simplify a business. It's so fun to watch it scale, because simplicity scales and complexity fails. And so this particular medical business, they had thousands upon thousands of core source of ideas floating around. They had these thousands of ideas floating around. And they had somehow turned those thousands of ideas into about 100 core operating documents. And what I was able to do was to work with the client to simplify and say, hey, what are the top 15 items that we need to have? What are the top 50? Because none of the employees were actually using the handbook. None of the employees were actually using any of the core documents. They had 90 plus documents. It's crazy. When you have 100 plus documents, how many of your employees are actually using the documents, the systems, the processes? So we refined the systems to the point where this particular entrepreneur was able to radically and dramatically scale his business. And so today I'm helping him just refine those systems. But when you hear these success stories on today's video and other videos, the clients we work with, these are people that I believe they're A player people. I believe they are. And I don't know that I'm always the perfect judge of that. But what happens is people go to thrivetimeshow.com and they schedule a free 13-point assessment. People always ask me, if you have 160 clients, why do you personally do all the 13-point assessments? Well, I do it because I don't want to bring A-player systems and A-player employees to C-player nefarious people, because money is simply a magnifier. And if you bring A-player systems and A-player employees to a C-player person, their nefariousness will ultimately explode. It will show itself. It will become evident to all. And so that's why I do the 13-point assessments myself. And so as you hear the testimonials on today's program, just know these are wonderful people. And these are principled people. These are the kind of people that have decided that they're going to dedicate their lives to living up to their core principles. And so if I bring on a client that has low core principles and low values and low standards, you can't help that person scale, because ultimately the weight of success will cause them to implode. So if you're out there today and you want to grow your business, I would be happy to help you grow your business. I'd be happy to do it. But something that you can do for free right now is you can ask yourself, do you have A-player employees on your team right now? Are you an A-player boss? And do you have A-player systems? Now, if you're a cowardly, feeble, weak, wimpy individual, again, helping you scale your business is just going to expose the nefariousness of you. And so if you're a good person, then it's fun to help you scale. And that's why I only take on 160 clients, because I don't have time in my life, and you don't either, to deal with nefarious people. Because if you have nefarious employees, you bring them more money and more income, what's going to happen is you're going to expose them for who they are, because the Bible says in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Again, money is just a magnifier. And so that's what I like to do. That's what I'm good at, is scaling business and helping good people to build good businesses. And so on the rest of today's show, you're going to see good people who are, we've been able to help them to scale their company. And thankfully, none of the people that, and again, I'm sure somebody out there, you have, nefarious people in your life, but thankfully, people like myself, we have a vetting process so that we, called a 13-point assessment to keep out nefarious people from my life, because I don't have time. You don't have time. We don't have time to scale the company for a nefarious person. But if you're out there today and you're a kind-hearted person and you are ready for a 13-point assessment, Just go to thrivetimeshow.com, and schedule your free 13-point assessment today. Or book your tickets for one of our in-person workshops at thrivetimeshow.com, because we would love to help you to nail and scale your business. And without any further ado, I'm going to end with kind of a boom before we move on to the next portion of today's show, where we're going to teach you how to hire, inspire, train, and retain A-player employees. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom!
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
3, 2, 1, boom! Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. Presenting the world's only business school without the BS. With optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark. Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Yes, sir. It's Z and Clay, broadcasting from the box in the 918. Business school in the topic today. Check the syllabus, it's getting you paid. Making business boom is what we do. You can do it, let us show you. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. We had a loyal listener that I ran into last week, and this gentleman was explaining to me that he loves the radio show, but he doesn't know how to listen to the podcast. And so I thought I would take just a second for any of our listeners out there to break it down for you. We have about as many people that download the podcast as we have that listen to the show. So there's estimates that say about 33,000 people listen to the show at any given time, and we have approximately 40,000 downloads. And so you can kind of see, do more people listen on the podcast or do more people listen on the radio show? Either way, because I know that our listeners out there are business owners, and most of these business owners don't spend a whole lot of their time listening to podcasts. A lot of these people are busy running banks, running dentistries, photography companies, whatever. I wanted to break that down. So what you'll do is just go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's thrivetimeshow.com, and then you'll click on the podcast button, and then away you go. There'll be a play button there. You can hit that button. You can pause that. You do whatever you want. It's really, Chup. It's really there's a plethora of audio play-to-play options once you get to thrivetimeshow.com.
It's a free-for-all audio buffet up there. You can just eat all you want.
Nice. Now, we had a question that came in from a Thriver today, and this question is, he wants to know how to hire somebody. And so I love the question because it is a simple question, but it's actually the kind of show that we're gonna deep dive into everything you would possibly ever want to know about how to hire somebody, because I don't think they teach this at business college. Chup, you went to business school at Oklahoma State University. Did they ever teach you the specific steps of how to hire somebody?
Specifically, no, they did not. They didn't really teach you the specific steps to do anything besides write papers or do silly things that you would hit a deadline, and that was about it. So.
And have you ever thought, you recalled the last time
have you thought about, geez, when was the last time you wrote a paper for a business that you've ran? I mean,
I remember just a couple days ago, you assigned that out. You wanted me to write a 20-page report on all of my... No, of course not. It doesn't matter. There's no need to write papers, 30-page papers over whatever theory of management practice that you're learning. It's all about what we're going to get into today.
Okay, so here are the practical steps for hiring somebody. Step number 1, Chep, let's put this on the show notes. You need to schedule a group interview. Our group interview is every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. for all the different companies that we have, we interview people at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. Every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. What time? 5 p.m. What day? Wednesday. You interview people every day? Yes. So we interview people every single Wednesday at 5. Well, what if they can't come in at 5? Then they can't come. They can come next week. They can come a different week. Every single week at 5 p.m. we do a group interview. And Chuck, could you explain why we do, from your perspective, why we do the group interview every single Wednesday at 5 p.m.?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple concept. Those unicorn employees, those A players, they're not just looking for work when you're looking for new team members. They're looking for work when they're looking for work. They may be fed up with an existing boss. They may have gotten laid off for whatever reason. Whatever's going on in their lives, if they are looking for a job and you're not hiring, you're going to miss out on all those people. So it's just like sales. I always tell my clients, it's just like sales. If you're looking for a deal as soon as you're out of all of your work, it's way too late. It's way too late to find a new deal. So you've got to find those employees as they're looking for work, and then you can build a place within your organization, or straight up tell them, hey, just hired that spot, but you're the first person in my file. As soon as I'm ready, I'll be getting in contact with you.
Every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. you have to do it.
Right.
Okay? So here are the steps to doing the group interview. 1, you need to post that you're now hiring to make a job post, and post that every single week on Indeed and Craigslist. Somebody says, should I post it on social media too? Sure. Somebody says, should I drop off flyers at the local community college? Sure. Somebody says, should I also tell family and friends I'm hiring? Yes. But what I'm saying is you have to do it every single week. Every single week, post on Indeed and Craigslist. Now, the second thing you have to do every single week as it relates to getting people in for the group interview is you're going to need to actually conduct that interview every single Wednesday at 5. So now that you're job posting every single week, you want to actually conduct that interview. Okay, so you need to actually block it off in your calendar. You can't do it some weeks and some weeks not do it. You have to do this, okay? Now, the next little move as it relates to the group interview is no matter what anyone's resume says, always respond with the same email. So when somebody submits their resume, always say, hey, it looks like you might be a good fit. I'll see you this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Now, Chuck, why do we want to say to every single resume, every single time, whether it's accurate or not, hey, it looks like you might be a good fit. I'll see you this Wednesday at 5 p.m.
Right, because the whole point of this process is a multiple filter method to filter out people through the different steps, but it's also to save you time. As the business owner or the manager, the whole goal is to save you as much time as possible, so you're not scheduling 20 hours of interviews for 20 or 30 people. You're scheduling 1 hour every week.
Now, again, these are just thoughts I have as I'm explaining how to hire people. I never have and never will, and you should not read resumes until after the group interview. Chuck, this seems like a countercultural idea, but according to Inc. magazine, and we'll put this on the show notes, 85% of people are lying on the resume. 85. So if there's 100 people applying for your job, you get 100 resumes, 85 of those resumes are completely bogus. They're 85 of the 100. I mean, that's crazy. And you think about this. According to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, 75% of employees steal from the workplace. 75%. So if you think about this, 85% of the resumes that you would be reading anyway are crapola. That makes zero sense. So again, no matter what the resume says, even if the resume is mangled and misspelled, because you won't even know, because you're not going to read the resume. If they send you a picture of a cartoon, a hand drawing of their hand, you know how you can trace the outline of your hand and make a turkey?
That's awesome. I like that movie.
If that's what they send you, they send this to you, gobble, gobble. If that's what they send you as the resume, that's fine. If they take a picture of papyrus that they have used, they've used cuneiform, they've compressed reeds, and they're using ancient hieroglyphics to write, and I know that because I went to college. Ooh. But if they send that to you, that's fine. If they send you a picture of themselves flipping you off, you would say, looks like you're a great fit, because you wouldn't know.
Can't wait to see it.
Because you're not going to read resumes. You don't ever read the resumes. You just say, it looks like you're a good fit. You could be a good fit. I'd like to see you this Wednesday at 5. And someone says, well, what if they can't do it this Wednesday at 5? Well, then they can't do it this week, Well, what if they have a question? No. What if they, no. And that's how you do it, right? So, but there's got to be more. There's not more. Now, the next step is, how do you do the group interview itself? Oh, these are good questions. This is how you do the group interview. By the way, if you don't know how to do it and you live in the Tulsa area or you're in town, a lot of people are flying in for our workshops from all over the world. You might want to plan your trip where you could fly in on like a Wednesday morning or a Tuesday night so you could watch our group interview. But this is how you do the group interview. 1, you go over compensation. Okay, you go over compensation. 2, you go over the expectations of the job. 3, you go over communication. Like who people need to report to. If you work here, who's your boss going to be? Who will be your boss if you work here? The org chart. How the organizational chart works. So let's go over the first one. Okay, so communication. You'd say the first one would be like expectations. You'd say, here's the deal. My name's Clay. I own a haircut business called Elephant in the Room, and we operate with excellence, which means that we pride ourselves on being the highest reviewed men's grooming lounge in Oklahoma and in all the other states. And so to do that, we have to have really great people, which is why we're interviewing you. And we have to pay you more because turns out great people want to make more than people that are not doing a good effort. So the question I'd have for you is we move into compensation. So Mr. Workshop attendee, Mr. Group interviewer, Mr. Person attending this work group interview, compensation. What specifically will I pay you? Now, this is a good question. So I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to pay you this much per hour, and you get this much commission, and you get this much tips, and this is how your check works out. Any questions about compensation and or expectations? Okay. 3rd, we're going to go into communication. If you work here, if you're going to the South Tulsa store, your boss will be Dan. And Dan got this job not as a result of knowing me, but as a result of working hard. There's no nepotism here. And even if there was a kid of mine or a family member of mine that wanted to work here, they all have to start at the bottom. So Dan is there as a result of his hard work. If you want to work at downtown, your boss would be Wendy. If you want to work in Broken Arrow, your boss would be Jason. And then above all 3 stores is what we call a super boss, the super manager. How come it's such a formal title? The super manager. He's super. Jason manages all 3. And then above that, there's Jonathan Kelly. And Jonathan Kelly would only be called if Jason has a freak out moment, which he can't have because he's a super manager. But if he did have one, he would reach John. And if John can't handle it, which should never happen, he calls me. So really, no one should ever call me. But I actually do trainings every single Friday with you guys personally. I'll be training every single person here every single Friday on how to cut hair as well as how to sell products. We have our lead stylist, our master stylist, Cynthia. She conducts hairstyle training every single Friday, and I do sales training every single Friday. That's how that works. Okay. And then every single Monday, we have a manager meeting. What questions do you guys have? And usually they look at me and go, there's one hand that goes up. Because remember, if you had 50 people say, I'm going to be here Wednesday at 5, Chup, what percentage of the candidates actually show up for the group interview?
Maybe 10 to 20 if you're lucky. 10 to 20%.
People who said, I'll for sure be at the interview.
Right.
Only 10 to 20 of those 50 ever show up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I'd say 5 to 10, actually. So 5 to 10 of those people will probably.
So 10 of the 50 show up.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then what happens is, of those 10 that show up, maybe only 5 show up on time. So there's like 10 people there, but there's 5 that are already dead to me. Because if you're late for the interview, I don't really have a curiosity as to who you are or why you're late. I just know that if you're late for the job interview, it's not going to work out. And through extreme judgment and the prejudice that I use during my group interview, I have found a great team. So if you're late, regardless of your race, your religion, your creed, if you're late, I'm not interested. Then what I say to you is I say, all right, what questions do you have? And I get questions from numbskulls who are late, but I also get questions from good people. The good people ask me some questions, and it's just an open dialogue where they're really interviewing me the majority of the time. I mean, they're actually asking me questions, and I don't care, no matter what the question is, because I am trying to see if they can think and if they can communicate. And if they can think and communicate, they are in an elite group of people called the kind of people I want to hire, potential employees. Then I say, hey, guys, so that you don't have a skewed perspective of what it's like to work here, I'm going to have you guys shadow me tomorrow. You're going to actually shadow me for an hour of power, me because I'm the boss guy. And then if I like you, I'm going to send you over to the South Tulsa store, and you're going to actually, or Broken Arrow or whatever, and you're actually going to do a demo haircut. Because if you have a license and people, and you say you can cut hair, I'd like to see you cut hair. And I would do this for coders, web developers, photographers, videographers, any position at all. I would have somebody shadow me. And, well, what are you looking for if they shadow you? I don't know. This would be maybe the same. If someone says, how do I know if someone should be a friend? If you like them. If you don't like them, don't hire them. If you do like them, hire them. This is how it works. This is how we do it. Now, Chuck, we have a company out there that we've worked with for a long time that has really built a great team of people. You know, they've gone through this process, and they have found some elite people. And that company is Classic Janitorial. These guys provide great cleaning services for Dr. Zeller & Associates, for Google, for the Thrivetime Show offices.
Newstar.
For Newstar, for DuPont. And they want to provide janitorial services for you. Chuck, what's their phone number? What's their website?
Their website's theclassicclean.com, theclassicclean.com, or you can call these guys at 918-671-2046, 918-671-2046. They're going to include some high-traffic carpet or tile buffing for you included in your cost.
And their phone number, again, is 918-671-2046. Call them during the break, and I'll give you a free copy of my book, Thrive. Stay tuned.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170. Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. And we had a very simple question that was emailed from a Thriver, but this is the kind of stuff that, Chuck, you went to business school at Oklahoma State University.
I did.
And they don't teach this there.
They don't teach anything that you will remember.
Or that you'll use.
That's what I mean. If you don't use it, you'll remember it.
You spent the majority of your college experience, as did I, writing research papers, paraphrasing books,
team projects,
talk about business ethics. None of that crap matters. Let me tell you what happens for business ethics. If you screw enough people, you go out of business.
True.
That's
and if you let enough people screw you,
you go out of business. So if you don't screw people, then you grow. But these are thoughts. But here we go. So we're talking about how to hire people.
That's a whole semester right there in just like 3 minutes.
And by the way, if you did attend the Clay Clark Business College, it would be called a 2-day in-person Thrivetime Show workshop.
That's right.
Because in 2 days, I can teach you what you need to know. And you might spend a year applying it, but in 2 days, you get the whole thing. There it is, bada bing, bada boom. We go from A to Z at the workshop. So here we go. The question is how to hire people. So step one is you have to hold a group interview every single week. Now, again, if you've never seen a group interview, you don't know about a group interview, Google does group interviews. Big tech companies do group interviews. It's not like I'm inventing the concept of a group interview here. It's a better way to go. So just do it. And if you've never seen one, just come out this Wednesday at 5. Email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Schedule your reservation at our in-person at our offices. We have about a 20,000 square foot facility there. Just come out to our offices. When you come out to the offices, you can just get there Wednesday at 5 and watch the group interview.
Just sit there and watch.
We've had people do this.
And if you don't believe what Clay's saying here, well, I don't know why you're listening to the show in the first place, but
I think some people do just to antagonize themselves.
But I can tell you what, when I ran a concrete company for almost a decade with my parents, and this system right here would have had the biggest impact immediately on our lives. And I'm not exaggerating. If you don't do this, you will get stuck in a doom loop where your employees hold you hostage. They become entitled. They make demands that are unreasonable. They make you work on their shifts because they don't want to show up, and you can't fire them because you don't have anybody else. And I'm super passionate about it when I work with my clients because I see every single person goes down the same road if you do not do the group interview every single week.
Now, here is why this person is asking this question. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they're growing. They're a client, and they're growing by 231%.
Woo!
I believe, did you look on the complete carpet clean? Is it 260 or is it 260%?
I want to say it was 262.
Okay, the last time I saw it was 230. But anyway, they're growing over 200%. The average American company is growing by 2.9%. That's the current gross domestic product. That's the current growth rate of our economy.
200-something% is just a little bit more.
It's like 10 times more than the average business. So they're growing, And then that's why they need to hire somebody, because now they need to hire people to keep up with the demand.
Right.
And that's a Complete Carpet Cleaning, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
CompleteCarpetTulsa.com.
So we have a Thriver inside the studio today, and this guy has actually bought a tip-top canine business location. And the company is doing great. I mean, he's out there in Owasso. He's growing all the time. Thank you, Tulsa, by the way, for supporting Adam and his newest business location there in Owasso. And so I want to get Adam's take on a few things here. Adam, when you opened up your Tip Top location out there in Owasso, was it a little bit scary for you opening your own business? I mean, you had to buy all that crap. I mean, you had to buy probably $15,000, $18,000 of crap. You had to auto wrap your car. You had to buy leashes. You had to invest in 200 hours of training. Was it a scary thing for you?
Absolutely scary. It was like one of the scariest things I've done probably ever, as far as work or business or anything like that. Are you
a married guy? For the folks out there that don't know you, are you a married guy?
I am married.
How long have you been married?
6 years now.
Do you have a death wish? Did you want that marriage to end terribly, or why did you go out there and want to start a business? What did you talk to her about it first? I mean, tell us about what was going on in your household in the moments leading up to starting the company.
Well, it looked like a opportunity that I would be foolish not to at least give a shot. I mean, why not? I'm good with dogs, good with people.
How did you hear about a Tip Top Canine?
Ryan actually trained 3 of my dogs back in, I think it was 2007 or 2008, I think.
So the founder of the company sowed the seeds by doing a good job for you in 2007.
Yes.
Now, I was just thinking about, a lot of things. I've got very, very metaphysical. I was thinking super deep about a lot of things. The one thing I thought about, Chip, it is not 2007.
It's not.
It is not. It's 2018 now.
It's like 11 years ago.
It's like 11 years ago. So you met the guy 11 years ago. Anyway, how did you decide that the business model made sense? When did that idea occur to you?
Well, Ryan actually contacted me to get in touch with some rescues, because me and my wife have connections, because we actually ran rescue ourselves.
Animal rescues?
Yeah, dog rescues.
Okay.
So we had connections with some rescues in town, and he was actually looking for a place to be able to train new trainers.
So he reached out to you to find a new place to train new trainers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you knew, okay, this might be a thing?
You said, I might be a new trainer.
Yeah, he was like, hey, what are you doing career-wise right now? And I said, well, I'm going to school, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to school to get my certified veterinary assistant, or my veterinary.
Where were you going?
I was going to San Juan College.
San Juan?
Most of it was online.
Juan?
I was just transferring to TCC to finish out the program there.
Nice. Okay, so very, very bicultural of you to go to San Juan.
San Juan.
So you're going to San Juan University. Now, so you decided to start your own business. Now you're how many weeks into owning your own business? Is it 11 weeks, 400 weeks, 9 weeks? How many weeks approximately?
We started February 5th was the first day official. So was that like
10 or 11 weeks?
10 weeks, yeah. 11 weeks.
So what are your average sales per week now, roughly? I mean, at this point.
They're right about $8,000.
So if you did $8,000 a week of sales every week. Now, there's 52 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong. In a typical week, I mean, would you go out on a limb and say in a typical week we have about 50, or typical year we have about 52 weeks? I mean,
there's right in 48 to 54, right in there in that range.
There's
somewhere.
research to show that the average week has 7 days, and so I was doing the research. Chip, where do we find our research team? This is amazing.
But if you take those 52 weeks at $8,000, that's $416,000.
Or that'd be $1,142 a day.
There you go.
And so and if you took 85% of that, which is I think what you get to keep, 85% of that approximately. So you keep 85%. Now you have expenses, but so that's basically $971 a day that you get to spend on whatever you want to spend on, and then obviously pay your expenses out of it and that kind of thing. And so, but now that you're growing, have you gotten to a place where you maybe are selling so much that you're probably going to need to hire somebody soon? Are you there?
I already did.
You already hired your first guy?
Yeah.
What? Which is a great segue.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. they both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also, we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411%.
All right, Thrive Nation, if you want to follow along, just go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, and turn to page 255. Turn to page 255 of my newest book, and read along with us here. It's a Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich, page 255. And on page 255, I do a deep dive. I begin to break down and write about the entrepreneurial system creation success cycle. And on this page, I write, my friend, you must never get out of the entrepreneurial success cycle. The cycle is comprised of the following steps: define, act, measure, refine. As an entrepreneur, you must constantly define the outcome you want to see. Act before you have everything figured out. Measure the results and refine the process until it is perfected. If you ever feel as though you are not up to this task, you must sell your business or delegate the running of your business to someone who is up to this never-ending task. You must pay close attention to the outcomes you're experiencing as a result of your team's lead creation efforts, so that you can spot the best ways to enhance and improve your sales systems. I don't care whether we were talking about measuring the results of a sales script, a sales video, an autoresponder email, a podcast, a TV commercial, a mailer, a text marketing campaign, or any other type of marketing and lead generation activity under the sun. You must invest the time needed to measure the results you are getting on a daily basis. I highly recommend that you track the results daily and that your team commits to pivoting, nuancing, and updating your lead generation systems on a weekly basis as dictated by the results that you are seeing. And then once you define and refine and you come up with once you define, you act and measure and refine and you come up with a proven system, you need to stick with that system. And that's called a workflow. What? One more time. That's the entrepreneurial system creation success cycle. So whenever you're building a business, there's a workflow, there's kind of a flow, there's kind of a rhythm to it. And so Caleb, if someone was going to, you write search engine content here, but you also understand music. Roughly speaking, how is pop music organized?
So there's an intro, then there's a verse, then there's a pre-chorus, then there's a chorus, then there's a verse, then there's a pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, bigger chorus, ending.
Okay, so I'm gonna take notes here because I want to respect your time here, but I want to take notes so you can repeat the flow for pop music. So the flow for the actual kind of the workflow for pop music, music that's on the radio, pop radio music would be what again? What's step one?
Let's do intro.
Intro, got it. And then what's next?
Verse, yeah. And then we're going to do a pre-chorus.
Pre-chorus.
Chorus.
Chorus.
I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year.
That bridge.
1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients
the amplified
in
chorus.
the same month.
And that's how the pop songs work.
Overall, our average is
3.5 minutes
running
long, right?
about 40 to 42%
Okay, so now we're going to get into entrepreneurship real quick. The flow. The flow. This is what you do if you're going to build an entrepreneurial system creation success cycle. One,
starting with a business coach.
Two,
videographers,
you actually
photographers, web
Three,
designers.
you
Back when I graduated dental school in 1985,
Four, you refine. You define, act, measure, refine. That is the way you build a workflow. That's how you build a system. You define, you act, you measure, you refine. That's how you build a workflow.
By choosing to use the services,
so if you're going to build a business
you're
that works,
choosing
you
to
have to
use
define
a
what you think is
proven
going to work.
turnkey marketing
And then you have
coaching
to
system.
act,
that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're
entrepreneurial
to the University of
system creation
Oklahoma
success cycle.
College
That's
of
what it is.
Dentistry.
So I want to ask you this today. What have you been working on today?
Pediatric dental residency
I've been writing a
at
lot
Baylor
of
College of Dentistry from
How
1983
many
to
pages of content have you been working on today?
Hello, my name is Charles Colwell with Colwell Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark.
So you put out
Clay Clark has been my business coach
today.
since 2007.
And is your head about ready to
grow
explode?
from 2 locations to now 6 locations.
Really? Well, you did
7 locations in 7 years and then franchising. Clay has done a great job.
And what that does is that allows clients to rank top in Google search results.
Running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits,
I want to get into this
how
to
navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy's just amazing. He's this kind of guy. He's worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours on the day-to-day. He does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, making it, putting it into organizing everything in their head to build it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses is like 500 franchises.
Thank you for carving out time here, Caleb.
One of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
Whoa. The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow. You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you. And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.